Audio Jungle. So I would like to thank Alliance Laundry Systems for sponsoring today's webinar. If someone from Alliance joins us, we'll give them a few minutes to
I'm
say a
here.
few. Oh, you are here. Hi, Amanda.
Hi. Well, hello, everybody. Some faces I recognize. I just want to say thank you for joining this. Alliance is dedicated to technology and research and development and continuing to push the envelope forward. So, this is a great topic to hear. I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll be along for the ride just to learn some more too. So, thanks a lot. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me afterwards. Thanks, Danielle.
Thank you, Amanda, and thank you, Alliance. All right, I want to introduce our panelists. So this topic has become such a hot topic at events. I see a lot of this on discussion groups. So we have some expert panelists today who are going to share their knowledge, and hopefully you walk away learning a few things. So we have four great panelists. We have Alex Bloom from Washworks. We have Trey Bowden from Spinner. Ross Dodds from Lux Laundries, and we have Nick Gomez from Super Clean Laundry. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing so that we can have more of a conversation. Just so everyone knows, we do have a few resources on AI and smart technology that were posted in the chat. There is a web link that Trey from Spinner helped put together, and we have a handout that Nick put together. So feel free to grab those resources because they're excellent resources. All right, on my screen, Alex, you are first. So I'm going to start with you. So if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit about yourself, how long you've been in the business, how many stores, where they're at, and what your current sort of technology, AI, what you offer now, I guess.
Sure. So thanks for having me. My name is Alex Bloom. I'm in Massachusetts. I have three stores, one in northwestern Connecticut and two in western Massachusetts. Two of my stores we actually retooled with all brand new equipment. I've been in the business 2.5 years now, actually, so not that long. But when we got into it, we started retooling stores and added all brand new equipment that has all the back end software that lets us pretty much track every single little thing. So that's where I'm at.
Great. How about you, Ross?
Ross Dodds out of Los Angeles. Currently have 10 stores plus a closed pickup and delivery facility. Got in the business in late 2014. And currently we're using an AI answering phone service. And then with a loyalty and card system and stuff to help with in the stores.
Great. How about you, Nick?
Yeah, my name is Nicholas Gomez, and as Daniel said, I'm from Super Clean Laundry in Lake City, Michigan. I always share, if you're from Michigan, you know where the hand is, sort of top of the pinky. That's about where we're at, and we're getting ready to have some snow here very quickly. So I've been in the laundry business as a co-owner. My wife and I own Super Clean Laundry for 2.5 years, but we started pickup and delivery 4.5 years ago without a store. So we got on the bandwagon, if you want to say really quickly, about using technology. And then it was probably within the last 12 months, as we were coming across some labor shortage, we had to start implementing, you know, digital services and automations and stuff like that. So that's where we're at. And currently, we have a phone system. We have all our emails are all automated, and we use AI agents for that. And then some other things we can talk about later.
Great, thank you. And Trey.
Hey everybody, I'm Trey Bowden. I'm the Senior Project Manager here at Spinner. We're a marketing agency focused on the laundry space. I've been in the business for about 7+ years now, but I'm no stranger to technology. I've been career in IT and marketing for about 26, 27 years. So excited to be on this panel and talk about all things AI. As far as just very brief, what we've done with AI, lots of systems to kind of automate different processes for our marketing team, as well as some of the distributors that we kind of help support internal marketing for as well with lead tracking and lead enrichment, the data enrichment and more. So just always building systems to kind of help allow us to scale and augment our day-to-day.
Thank you. So just a couple things before I get into the questions. Thank you, whoever said that the links and the handout were not in there. I reposted it. So if you go into the chat, both those things should be there. Also, this whole webinar is being recorded, and you'll get a follow-up email that'll send you to our YouTube channel. That's where we post all of our content. Probably would be tomorrow that it will be posted there. So if you want to go back and refer to anything. So I'm going to go through some questions with our panelists, and then I'll turn to your questions, but feel free at any point to put your question in the chat area. All right, so we're going to go backwards order. So Trey first. If someone is just starting with technology, what should they do first?
I would advocate just make sure you've got good visibility on some of the basic data points that you might want to track as a laundry owner. What is the busiest hours of your facility? What machines are being utilized? Is there other like financial data like tied to refunds or other service related things that are happening? Just being able to keep a pulse on that through your payment system or your point of sale system will save you a lot of headache down the road. And as we start talking about later in this conversation, some of the AI tools that are around there will allow you to process that data much more quickly. So just being able to keep a pulse, because you can't automate, down the road what you don't understand. So start with that visibility.
Great. Nick, anything to add to that? If someone's starting with technology, what should they do first?
I would say, in addition to what Trey had mentioned, I would look at the basics of what your store operation is, whether it's finding a way to have scheduling for your staff, to upload documents into like a virtual HR AI agent that can handle scheduling and any type of reconfiguration of what their needs are. That's one of the systems that I think I would look at first. Tracking of time, how much time they do on certain tasks throughout the day, and then you can manage, if you actually need them based on sales. So that's what I would say. I would look at using technology or AI in some form of fashion in scheduling and your day-to-day operations, your basics.
Good advice. So Alex and Ross, I'm going to move to question 2. We'll start with you, Ross. What are the biggest challenges that owners face when using new technology, and how can they overcome them?
I think the biggest challenge we've ran into is at what point we implemented it and then how big our team was. So I wish I had started earlier with a lot of things, like Nick was talking about scheduling and timekeeping. There's a lot more options these days that are a lot more affordable that you can grow into. So it's not like you have to make a big investment on a lot of the things now, because so many of the companies have tiers as you grow. So really just starting with those things very early on when you're just hiring makes it a lot easier as you're growing for the team to help train them each other and whatnot. I mean, we have a phone system now that I can share the same line with either a manager or anybody else so that they can see whether we've had a phone call or we've been texting with a person. And as we didn't implement that until just a few years ago, and it was a game changer for us. And it was so cheap. I wish I had done it from the very beginning, because sharing customer service as you're growing is a big thing, I think.
What about you, Alex? Either what you face personally, or what would you think would be the biggest challenge owners face with new technology?
I think some of the biggest challenges are technology is moving so quick. I mean, just in a short period of time, things have changed drastically in the industry, right? And even being brand new, I kind of noticed all of it. So, and even knowing what technology to use, what to go after, multiple companies are producing the same thing, different costs, different features. So what really, what do you go after? What do you use? I think a great way to overcome that is just talking to other people in the industry. What are they using? What are the people out there that have multiple stores using to make their life easier? And one of the other things that we ran into is a lot of our staff is older. Some of our best staff is over 50, and teaching them how to use some of this tech is a challenge. So just kind of being patient, teaching the staff how to use it so they could, better help our customers has been definitely helping us quite a bit.
Yeah, the whole idea of technology is to make life easier, but sometimes it actually makes things more difficult. And I'm over 50, I can use technology.
I didn't say everybody, but we do
Yeah.
have some that, they struggle, and you kind of, once they get it though, it's super simple. It's just getting them
Yeah.
to the point where they're comfortable with it.
Yeah, yeah, comfort level. All right, so we'll go back to Nick. Can you give an example how smart machines or smart technology helped save money or reduce breakdowns?
When you say smart technology, smart,
Or AI, or yeah.
gotcha. Breakdowns. We're getting ready to look at doing our quarterly maintenance, and by using AI, because we have machines that don't have the touch or the app or anything of that sort. So we have a little bit of an older machine mix, and we were able to take all the data that we get from our card system that we use, and that we use spider wash, if I could say. And so by seeing all the amount of usage that we've had with that card system, I was able to run it through AI, and then it would tell me what machines were used the most without me having to hunt and pick, and it did it in a matter of minutes. So now I don't need to necessarily fix every machine this quarter, because we have two top loaders that never got used in the last 45 days. So that means that it saved me time, and it saved me having to order extra parts, in case, so we can dedicate more energy and stuff. So that's where I would say AI and technology has helped us, is just in our maintenance program. And so, yeah.
Great. So what about you, Trey? What do you think would be an example of how smart technology might save money or reduce breakdowns?
I think, and this is a little bit more on the marketing side of things, but still applicable. One area might be around payment systems and or point of sale systems, where you have marketing aspects, you can run promotions and more. Well, depending on how that is implemented within that tool, it's obviously good to run reports on that data. If it's depending on the number of redemptions and more, you might be able to tally that by hand. But if there's a lot of redemptions, you're going to want to utilize that output from that report in any of the AI tools available. Well, I remember one example, this is a few years ago, where I was able to export out a multi-store operations POS data, and for a specific campaign that they were doing on a monthly basis. And not only were they tracking people at both the person by person store level, but there was an internal like fun competition between all the stores together on sales of like detergents and things. And we were able to run some reports, and I'm not saying they exposed people that were doing terrible things, but it definitely was approached from a loss prevention standpoint, that perhaps maybe some things weren't done in the best kosher way, from a education or security mindset with that team. So it helped expose and provide some info for them to kind of hone in on their operations tied to that. So, you know, just like Nick mentioned too, there's just an opportunity to use the data to help save you money.
Great. So moving on, Alex, what tech features do your customers care about the most?
I think our customers, so we have 2 stores that have the brand new touch equipment, and there's an app associated with it that they can use to pay for the machines with. They don't have to buy a card, they don't have to get quarters, even though our stores still accept quarters. And they're also able to reload the app with cash. And we reward our customers for using the app because it makes our life that much easier. And it is one of the best features in our stores. I mean, if you read our Google reviews, people rave about how easy it is to use the app, how awesome it is, and it's probably all of our customers' favorite feature. Uh, yeah, so I would definitely say the app and the with the brand new equipment.
Yeah. How about you, Ross? What do your customers care about the most?
I think it depends on our location, but I do think we are a loyalty card system, so they can choose credit card or cash. We do take out quarters, but it makes it so they have less issues with machines while they're on site, and we're able to resolve the customer service issues instantly because of the card system, issuing refunds, and people just appreciate being taken care of on the spot. Especially if you're partially unattended or unattended, which some of our stores are. So
we have a few questions that were related to some things you guys just said. So I'm going to take a little pause, ask these questions, and then we'll sort of continue through because I want to make sure I get to people's questions. I think this was, I can't remember if it was Nick or Trey, about running AI to get more insight into the data. Can you please share which AI tools are helping with analyzing the data or which tool to stay away from?
Do you want me to go ahead? I'll go ahead and answer.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
So a lot of people use ChatGPT. I hear it's a good product. You can get documents into it and stuff. I tried it when it first came out, but I switched to using Gemini. And so the reason why I use Gemini is because it's not that one is better than the other. They all have the same function. They're an AI pulling data and transferring data. But the reason why I use Gemini is because we have our entire business on a Google Drive. And that could be good and bad, but it's just easy to have it all there. And then we could actually chat and interact with our documents in Google Drive with Gemini, and we don't have to source it out. So it just makes it easier. But as far as any tools to stay away from, I would probably give advice that always just check to see how that data is that you're using. Make sure there's no privacy issues or anything. It'd be check that you are accepting privacy to be used out there in the world to be measured in the future for AI training. So that's one thing I do is to check on that. But yeah, I use Google Gemini.
Great. Did you have anything to add, Trey, or?
Yeah, sure. So I've used the bulk of the tools, Gemini, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Anthropic's Claude. They all have their pros and cons to data analysis and more. Definitely recommend the paid accounts though. To the next point, like you have to be cautious with the data you're uploading. For one, you might want to normalize it. If there are, customer data like phone numbers, email addresses, and such, you might want to be cautious about that. But that doesn't mean to say that you still can't normalize or cut out some of that data and still get the report that you're trying to get out of it, that quick analysis. I know Claude for me has been a game changer in a lot of ways over this last maybe month or two, just because there are file creation capabilities not only to upload a CSV file that you might download from a point of sale or a payment system. You can upload that. Well, it could turn that into a full Excel multi-sheet spreadsheet and create tables and more. So I'm not saying it gets you 100% there, but it definitely gets you to like a 95% point. And it's been pretty amazing for what it can create in this world, let alone as you start to utilize these tools and go much deeper, they're all talking to each other now. So they're utilizing what's called MCP protocol to be able to touch things. So you do have the opportunity not only to just process data and then maybe spit it back out to you to make a decision or something, but you can also turn that data into like a presentation or a design or something along those lines.
So our next question, I feel like Nick, you answered this a little bit. So we'll go to Alex as to what kind of data should owners pay attention to and how can it help their business? I know, Nick, you talked about using it to see which machines are being utilized the most and which aren't, so that, you know, affected what you would repair. So what about you, Alex? What kind of data do you, I guess, personally pay attention to, and how has it helped your business?
Kind of along the same lines, the time of day, or even, you know, what days are busier, what machines are busier, that's really important. We noticed Sundays our 80 pounders would have a line of people waiting to use them because we don't have a ton of them. So we made a discount day on Tuesday, which was our slowest day, because you could tell real quick which day is your slowest. So we discounted the 80s, thinking we'll move some of those customers over. So our Tuesdays now got much busier, but we haven't lost any revenue from Sunday. So now our slowest day is Thursday, and I'm trying to find a way to do some kind of other promotion because it doesn't move people, it just brings more people in. Which it's definitely worked out in our favor.
Yeah. How about you, Russ? What kind of data do you pay attention to, and how's it helped your business?
I mean, I think our biggest expense is utilities, so we're constantly monitoring utilities. We've seen several increases over the last few years, so it keeps us updating our prices on machines to stay in line with that.
Yeah, that's probably not going to change anytime soon either. All right. So Trey, how can an owner tell if technology is worth the investment?
A couple of ways. A, is it going to save you time? B, is it going to reduce any errors in like your, you know, analysis and more in your day-to-day to make better business decisions? Is it enhancing customer experience? I mean, that's a big thing. There's no sense in automating something that is just going to cause friction. Less friction usually means happier customers, which means more customers. And then lastly, regarding any new technology, if you think about something that you want to put in place or are considering, is it going to talk to your other systems? Now, I know we're still in this era where, you know, there's more and more of the payment systems, point of sale systems, or ones that are doing both that are more and more integrated. Love that. We've seen that increase a significant amount over the last 5 years for sure. But there's still more work to do. So can you at least at minimum bridge some things together? There are middleware cloud-based technologies like Zapier, for example, is one of a few that can bridge systems together. So that's where that can be helpful to move data back and forth and ultimately help, you know, you, the owner, again, make better business decisions, better customer service, et cetera. The only caution I would have on that in general, though, is try not to do it all at once. Maybe like have a defined time frame, give it 60 days or something before you try to, you know, don't try to implement 3 different things at once necessarily. We need to move fast, but just be cautious a bit on how much you're investing.
Yeah, good advice. So for the other three of you who have invested in technology, I guess, would you say it is worth the investment in what you've done so far?
Um, so we retooled 2 stores, right? And we took over one store that had some 30 or 40-year-old equipment. And we went and put in brand new touchscreen equipment, high efficiency. You could program just about everything into this. And this store that we bought was grossing under $40,000 a year. We easily almost 8x the revenue, but our utility bills did not go up 8 times. So the newer equipment is also super efficient where it's saving you money on your utilities as well. Our revenue boosted because all the smart tech and like we have these things called cycle modifiers where you can add more than a regular wash. So that's 3% of our gross sales that we get automatically without having to actually do any extra except for having the options there. So buying the new equipment and spending the fortune that we spent on it was well worth the investment.
That seems to be what we hear over and over again.
It's true. So
All right, Nick, what, so this is related to security. So what should owners know about keeping the customer data and their systems secure? Like, how do you manage security?
Yeah, we manage security very fine. Like I'm very fanatical about it. I keep things stored offline that would be sensitive to our business as far as like customers or your customer database. But the other part is like use example of a point of sale system. You know that part of the technology. Um, Going for a company that's reputable and has a lot of background in data security is just very important. And so I always encourage like new owners or even seasoned owners that are looking to transition into technology, um, read that fine print and vet the top technology companies, and then see if they are compliant with the regulations and stuff with the data security, and then also have a backup for yourself just in case that ever did go sideways, because you never know, you may need to have that customer list to go to another system. And if I could just say on the customer list, I always tell people my customer list or our customer list is much more valuable than our actual building. And so I always want to guard that as much as I can, because if something happened to the building or the laundromat, we can just go down the street and start another laundromat or anything of that sort. And that customer list will always follow us. So that's what I would say about it.
How about you, Ross? Anything else you have to add about how you keep the data secure?
No, not really, because all the credit card and stuff is handled on the third party. So
So now I'm going to move over to the our chat. So at the very beginning, Ross, you mentioned you use an AI phone system, and Nick, did I hear you say you do as well? So someone is asking if they can learn a little bit more. So if both of you could just touch a little bit more on your system and kind of how you use it, because I think that's becoming more common, but still fairly new in our industry.
yeah, so we were with a reception company um, for many years, and then earlier this year we just switched over to the Sense AI. And so the way our system works is we have our customer facing phone number that's on all of our stores, and they call that and it forwards over to previously the receptionist and now the AI. And we'll try to answer some questions and has a setup that we've helped program into it what we want it to do. You have to decide how you want to handle that. It can forward immediately to you with some leeway of what the question is, or in our case, we make it ask questions and then it sends us a text. And then it forwards over to, we use it used to be called Open Phone. They just changed their name to QUO. And that was a referral from Luke Williford a few years ago. That's the one that can handle, you can assign the same phone number to multiple people. You can call record, and everything. That has been dynamite. If you're too small for a receptionist or whatnot, you can set this up. And that's been so great. So the AI texts me what the issue is, what the customer information is, and then I can either call them directly from our management line, or I can text them. Most of the time, when it's a card system issue, we can take care of refunds and issues, and then I just message them letting them know it's already on their card and it's already handled, which is the reason why we don't have it forward the phone call, because people get feeling like they have to explain a lot of things. We just want to give them a refund and move on.
Right. Quick and easy, and that's what they're looking for. How about you, Nick?
We invested in the Savant's AI for laundromats. It has been a game changer for us back in March, and it's similar to what Ross was saying about the handling the calls, the basic questions and stuff. I've taken it a little bit further. I've actually implemented the process of hiring. And so the first step when you want to come to Super Clean, if you come and ask for a job, I will tell you that you need to call Bella. And then in the back end, we have a bunch of information of what positions we're hiring for. And based on the call, we've had a couple that said some non-church words because they figured out they were talking to a digital employee. And so obviously that really helped out slim that. But
Yeah.
then we forward our number, similar to what Ross was saying. We actually have AT&T iPhone, so we just forward the number to our Bella number. And yeah, it's pretty simple. We've seen a lot of increase in our services that we offer, and a lot of that is because of based on the questions that have been asked that we were able to capture from the AI. So,
Alex, do you have an AI phone service? I'm sorry, I don't recall if you said that.
I don't. I did try one out. It did not work for us as well as I had hoped, and it actually created more work than I wanted. So we ended up stopping that. So hopefully in the future we'll try it again once it develops a little bit more. But I just didn't feel like it was worth it to me at the time.
Yeah. So Trey, this question wasn't on anything I sent you, but related to sort of the AI, a lot of companies now have the chat bot online that, and I know you guys work with laundromats. Is that a feature that people or that store owners are using?
Yeah, I would say I've seen examples of that where they're contracting some tech provider, or just individual that's kind of working with a platform. There are some AI platforms out there that allow you to build and kind of create your own AI agency, where they're creating these things on behalf of any niche industry, and it's definitely growing. I know like some of the platforms mentioned, like Sense, Clean Cloud, there are aspects to that where if you have engaged with them for building your website, they can inherently kind of train on the data that's available right on your website. So as long as you're keeping that up to date, it stays consistent in that messaging when it's speaking to the end user and more. So it's pretty exciting. The key there is whether you're using the large language model kind of chatbot on the website, how do you make sure that you're tying it back into that phone system ideally down the road, so that way you don't have to build and manage and curate 3 different sources of data to kind of answer a lot of the same questions. It's just
Yeah.
a multi-channel kind of approach, but you hopefully have one main source that you can feed it.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I'll stick with you, Trey. So if we're kind of looking in the future, and I know Alex mentioned that technology is changing constantly, and we're seeing new companies come out, but how do you think AI and smart technology will start to change laundromats over the next few years?
So one area that possibly could be self-tuning stores. And what I mean by that is I know, Alex, you had mentioned a lot of the time of day deals and more that you've implemented successfully. Um, I could see that being automated that much more depending on how the weather is for the day, the week, the month, etc. And maybe adjusting pricing and more. Still have to figure out if you want to promote that adjusted pricing, perhaps. How is that going to be communicated out to help drive traffic in store? But maybe at the end of the day, it doesn't matter as long as people that are there on that day are like, wow, I got this deal for the day. I'm going to continue to come back. So there's a retention opportunity for that. Secondly, would be AI agents. Everyone on this call is kind of already working with them, I have no doubt. A lot of these tools have that built in where you can kind of go and instruct these AI chatbots or agents to go out and do complete little mini tasks for you. But they've proven that they can go a lot deeper. So imagine instead of just saying, hey, go analyze my machine uptime data, that's just step one. Complete the audit, but then have like step 2 and step 3 suggest marketing opportunities based off of that data. Suggest how I might interact better with my equipment distributor to, come up with a better service plan if it starts to see the data is showing that there's some service challenges. So there's a lot of opportunity to use those agents to kind of push further. So,
Thank you. So my last question, I'm going to ask Alex, Ross, and Nick. So based on your experience, we'll start with you, Alex. What is the one technology tip you would give laundromat owners who want to stay ahead? If you had to just share your top one tip.
Look at what your competition's doing and be better. Have the newest equipment, have the best services, and always be ahead of the game, and people will come to you because everybody loves all the new fancy stuff.
Ross, how about you? Your best tech tip for owners who want to stay ahead?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Alex. I mean, you just have to I mean, the endless debate of quarters versus card. I mean, I would say at minimum be hybrid. It's changing. It's changed in every other industry. We've just always ran very far behind. So get ahead of it and look at what other companies are doing, and what you like when you go to other companies that you do business with. The laundromat's just a little bit behind on that.
And how about you, Nick?
I'd say the same as what Ross and Alex were saying. I would even go a little bit further and just say, you know, ask yourself, are you in a futuristic mindset? Sometimes it's easy to get complacent in the old technology and quarters, back to what Ross was saying about the quarters versus cards. Sometimes it pays to have maybe a different mindset of what the future will hold if you don't do it. Because as we've seen, the flip phones turn into the iPhone, turns into this sort of thing. And if you don't stay ahead, you'll end up falling behind. And we've seen a track record of that in other industries and even in retail. So, I mean, I can go on and on about it, but yeah, just stay open mind, have a good mindset for it.
Great, thank you. So that brings me to the end of my questions. I know we've had a few in the chat, but if anyone else has questions for any of our panelists, if you want to add them to the chat and we can take those now. Can either be for a specific panelist or just a general question that you would like them to answer? Giving it just a moment. All right. Okay. So we do have one. So the question is about the coin versus card debate and what card product do you recommend, which CLA is pretty brand agnostic, so we don't get into which one is better. There are a lot that are on the market. I think, if you go to some of those Facebook groups and things like that, you'll see a lot of discussion on people sharing what they use, what they like about it.
Yeah, if we're not talking about brand, I would say I don't think it's a bad choice. I mean, if anything, stay hybrid. I mean, Alex talked about his app payment system that's becoming more popular. There's lots of choices there. That is a great entry level from the standpoint of investment costs to add in the app, and try some things. I think it's going to also come down to the customer service side of the adaptation of whatever you put in. Customers have to learn it. Alex talked about the staff and iPads and whatnot. It's same with customers. The more support you offer, the easier the transition and the more acceptance you see. And it just opens up the other side to you with, like Trey talked about, you are able to then track customers. You're able to see what machines they're using. It just opens up your business for yourself too, especially if you're planning to grow past one store. You're gonna want data, and it's hard to collect that data on quarters only.
It's impossible.
Alex, there's been a few questions. People just want to know what app you're using. Do you mind sharing which app you use?
Yeah, so I'll actually touch base on which card system is better too. Just go to your competitors. Everybody's got different card systems out there, and just play with everybody's machines and see which one you like better. It's not about the brand, it's about what you like and what you can install easier for what the machines that you have as well.
Yeah.
Our app came with the machines that we bought. We bought Speed Queen machines, and they just come with an app. So that's the app we use. It's not anything special out there, but just provided with the manufacturer.
Thank you. So I guess this would be for Ross and Nick. They want to know how long it took to set up the AI phone system text kind of integration before it was operating smoothly with minimal issues for customers. I don't know if you have an estimated time frame.
I would say mine still is learning, and I take some responsibility in that too. I mean, I have to feed it information to learn too. They did just open up a back portal for us to be able to add our own stuff to it. But I would say a week or two to get it going, and then you have to keep adding to it. And if it's a little iffy in the beginning, you can start with just like the phone system that comes directly to you, and deal with the customers directly for a little bit, so you have a better understanding of kind of the stuff that they're going to want to get from the AI, so you can better plug in that information.
What about yours, Nick? Would you say about the same or?
Yeah, if time-wise, set it up. It took about what Ross said with his. Took about a week to 2 weeks, and I'm constantly working with it. Again, I have a different mindset with it. I'm not using it. I didn't purchase it as a service. I purchased it to be like an employee, and by doing that, I keep everything in perspective. That whatever I'm feeding into it will be the same thing of sitting there, maybe hand holding a little bit or coaching an employee on certain things. And so that has really helped as far as overlooking like the frustrations. Because there are times that you do get frustrated, because it's a digital, it's a digital product,
Right.
and it's a digital employee. So the other part, if I could tie in the customer acceptance on it, we have some that absolutely hate it, and that's okay. Um, the customer service level is still optimal. It isn't like they left us. They just decided to have another opinion. But we offset that by saying, we're here to make your coffee for you. Like, because we're not answering the phone and all in the middle of doing something. We're making coffee, and like you get a full experience, a full on face to face, and that's why we have that. And so I think some of that, just to be clear, is the customer expectations and how you're actually moving and transitioning by using, like our case, we're using a phone system where we can actually have our staff on the floor having face to face and interacting versus stopping in the middle of stuff. And I will say one more thing too. Once you have it, like we do, everything changes. Like the perspective, how many times you go to a barber and you get interrupted, if you had an agent for that, it kind of warps you a little bit. So
Yeah, I've been in that situation, not barber, but yes, I understand what you mean.
yeah.
So this is a good question. Someone's asking, and any one of you could answer this or contribute to it. If you're starting from scratch in a laundromat that had no technology at all, like what would kind of be your top 3 things that you would want to implement?
A customer service that can grow with you. So in the beginning, the phone number posted was my second line on my iPhone, and that was a huge regret. It just always came to my iPhone. So planning out that growth. So customer service, and same with on the flip side, the staffing, planning out the staffing. We talked about it earlier with scheduling and whatnot, putting all that in place in the very beginning. And then third, I guess, would be some sort of tech within your laundry for the customer.
If I can add to that, like what Ross just said about tech for the laundromat, when we put in Alexa, that's just something we had in our PA system, it freed up the tension of the staff interacting with the customer, because we were able to broadcast like about, hey, check your pockets. It just made the environment a lot more friendly, or the closing times, instead of staff going and telling the customer, hey, this is the last load. Alexa broadcasts that out. So if you're able to do that, and that's relatively cheap. So
I know we've talked a lot about like machines and tech in those, but if I took over a laundromat that didn't have much tech to begin with, and they were doing things like wash and fold, I would be looking for a system to put in place to be able to track that instead of using paper receipts. It's probably one of the cheapest updates you can do, and it can help you track everything. So
We had another question here for you, Alex. I think you said you do accept coins too, right? You're hybrid?
yeah, all 3 of my stores are hybrid.
Okay. And then someone else is asking if you use scan, pay, wash, and do customers use it?
We haven't implemented the scan pay wash yet, just because there's a fee associated with it. I am considering it, but we have a kiosk where they can also load cash onto the app if they don't want to like link a credit card, and that's worked out really well. So I don't know if I will, but we have considered it.
So the next question they're asking about technology with wash, dry, fold. Do you all do wash, dry, fold, pickup, delivery, and do you have some sort of POS system for it? I
Yes.
assume, okay.
Yeah, not a PO system, but something to replace. But no, you have to do. I mean, if you want to do basic, I was on Square for years. At least then you can take credit card,
yeah,
take Apple Pay, and keep track of your customers. But I just would not do wash, dry, fold without a point of sale system. It's like going into a restaurant.
It's
Yeah.
working.
Yeah.
I don't know how we would be able to run a wash dry fold system with the amount of orders we do, with our pickup and delivery without some kind of computer system being able to track it, tracking orders. It'll even tell us which machines our staff are using. So if they're putting in a 20-pound order into an 80-pound machine, that's a waste. And I'm like, what are you doing here? So if you're looking to grow, you have to use some kind of tech for tracking.
All right. I think that brings us, okay, we have one last question, which could be kind of a lengthy, but ideas on how to scale pickup and delivery utilizing AI. Have any of you used AI to scale your pickup and delivery? Nick, you're shaking your head yes.
Yeah. Again, you can use any AI out there, ChatGPT, we use Gemini. So one of the things that we've done is actually use Google Maps with Gemini and ask in a prompt situation or prompt questioning is find us hair salons that are within a 50-mile radius of our zip code, and it will spit out, a bunch of information on that. And you can go in deeper, like um, tell us what the name, number, email address, and person contact, and it spit out that information. So then we can build a database off of that. How many people?
Nice.
Yeah. So that's what we do.
Yeah, I'd say there's huge opportunity in a lot of these tools. I know the one that I added in the doc that I shared was Manus, manus.im. It's a pretty neat one. It tends to be a bit more action oriented. But again, to Nick's point and others, you can use it for competitive research, for prospecting, as like he mentioned, for commercial laundry, just to see, all right, well, if you want to get into small business commercial laundry, what's the mix there of the different businesses? Is it barbershops? Is it hair salons? Is it Airbnbs? You can get a pretty good feel quickly with some good prompts and more. And the key thing is good prompts. All of these systems can start like a simple query like you might do on Google, Bing, or any other search engine. But remember, you can utilize the AI just to improve what you're trying to do. So just ask a simple question. Write up prompts for me to prospect commercial laundry opportunities in 5 miles of my zip code. It can be as simple as that, and it's going to spit out a much larger thing that maybe there's some variables that you can fill in tied to your brand, tied to just, any nuance to the business and more. It'll fill that out for you. So think about it in like feedback loops. You feed it more information, it will definitely feed better stuff back to you.
One more time, can you spell that, Trey?
manus.im.
Okay, thank you. Someone was just asking, and I was trying to remember how you said you spelled it. All right, so we are near the end. So I just wanted to share just what our upcoming events are through the end of the year, because we, believe it or not, are almost to the end of the year. So coming up are our Connect Live events. So for any of you who don't know what those are local events. They're just a 2-hour dinner networking. We do them all over the country in different locations. So the last 3 that we have coming up for this year is November in Atlanta. In December 4th, the Northern California, there's a group there that does quarterly meetings. So this is their little holiday celebration. And then on December 11th, Sense is hosting a Connect Live in their headquarters office in New York City. So if you go to this website, you can get more details on location and register. They're pretty inexpensive events, just good opportunity to network with your peers. And probably in the next few weeks, we'll start to launch the calendar of events for next year. So one of our big events that is coming up, we just did our wash, dry, fold. There was a clean show. So next year there is no clean show. Clean show is every other year. And in the off years, CLA hosts our Excellence in Laundry event. Typically it is a 2-day, I guess 2.5 days, starts with the reception, 2 days of education. We usually get some really top-notch speakers. This event is typically held at a nice resort property. So the intention is to be somewhat a vacation, education, business trip. So we're doing it for the first time at Hilton Head Island in South Carolina, at the Hilton Beachfront Resort and Spa. Lovely property, has golf courses, swimming pools, but it will be a really, really meaty conference as well. And definitely for any of you who have attended events, a great chance to network with people. We also have started an initiative for women in laundry, and we also are doing a special event. So the day before Excellence, so May 5th, same property, but it's a 1 day of speakers and networking, and it's just for women in the industry. This will be our 3rd time doing it. It's been very successful. We also offer a bundled price if you want to go to the women's event and then stay on for Excellence. So again, check the website. Registration for these events will open up in December. So it's not quite open yet, but you can see a little bit more about the events on our website. All right, so with that, I would love to thank our panelists. You guys did a great job. I know I personally learned a lot. Hopefully all of you did. Again, if you joined in late, this is recorded. You can go to you'll get a link to our YouTube channel where we post this. At the beginning, I had posted a few resources on AI and smart technology that you are welcome to download that our panelists had created. They will be helpful as well. So thank you for joining us this afternoon. Thank you, gentlemen, for participating, and hope to see you all at our next event.
Audio Jungle.